Sound all munchy.
You sound all munchy?
Yeah, it's just going to be me eating the whole time. Starving, dude.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you swallow first.
I don't want that to be able to be edited.
Two guys, one podcast. I am the lowest common denominator. What do you want?
I lose more and more respect for you every time we do this show.
Two guys, one podcast. Cesspool of disease and bacteria.
I swear to you, I will walk out and leave your ass.
You picture J.R. Ewing while you're having sex?
I don't even know who he is.
Two guys, one podcast. And this is the podcast. Welcome to Two Guys, One Podcast. I'm one guy.
And I'm the other.
And this is the podcast. You and I are not serious people. Discussions.
No, we're people, man.
Well, yes, we're people. I
don't know how much more serious than you can get than, flesh and blood.
It's an on and off switch,
yeah,
is what you're saying?
I'm pretty serious. I'm a person.
What I mean is, we are not the people to have a lengthy discussion or debate over the terrible tragedy that happened in Aurora, Colorado. But I do think, since we mentioned Batman last week, we're going to talk about it at least a little bit this week. It bears mentioning.
Dude, bad stuff happens to things that we talk about.
Some of that is true, and we're going to touch on some of that during the show. But a madman, a crazy person went into a theater. Everybody knows what happened. 12 people are dead. The opening night of The Dark Knight Rises shot up a theater there. 12 people are dead, dozens more injured. I'll say this: I'm not going to be someone that's ever going to mention that dude's name. I haven't said anything about him directly online. I'm not going to say anything about him here. I don't think he deserves to be mentioned. I don't think they should show his face on television either. I think that's exactly what he was looking for, is notoriety, and fuck him. That's what I say. Fuck him. That's my 2 cents about it.
I think he's the lawnmower man.
With the guy?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I was reading an article today about him, and whenever it first came out, he was like this highly intelligent PhD student in a grad program, and he's studying neuroscience, man. That's what he was there for. That's what he was doing. So you have that side. Well, a research center that he worked for as an intern said he was an idiot, man. Like, he was a mediocre student at best, and he was kind of a dummy.
So you're thinking he was
tested on like lawnmower man. Got super smart, super dumb, super smart, super dumb, went crazy.
Too much. Just couldn't handle it. Yeah, people try to bring in I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I'm just not. I think the simplest answer is probably the answer, and I think the simple answer here is that guy was disaffected with life and very sad and did a terrible thing to not only himself but everyone else that was involved in that theater. And I'm sorry for those that were injured. I'm terribly sorry for them. It's fucked up is what it is, and to hell with him, I say.
I'm going to stick with... I like to think of it as a conspiracy theory, because then I can ignore that there's truly evil people out there.
You gotta claim the evil and name it, sir. Hiding it in the dark never does anybody any good. You're eating a little bit of something because we're pressed for time here today.
Yeah.
So if there's grumblies and mumblies on the microphone, it's okay. It's just other guy getting his grub on. Nothing wrong with that. You're a busy man.
Yeah, and I'm starving, more importantly.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
I'm going to try to keep it away. I'm trying to keep it away.
Have you seen Batman yet? Have you seen The Dark Knight Rises?
No.
Box office pretty good over the weekend, even though the tragedy probably scared off a few people. It's a great movie. I've seen it twice now, and we're not going to talk about the movie in depth. We may do that eventually once you see it. We may do it on the podcast, may not. But a really solid. He nails the landing, man. Chris Nolan nails the landing on his trilogy, and kudos to him and the whole team. Can't wait to see it again.
On a brighter side with Batman in Colorado, I thought it was real cool for Christian Bale to go visit the graves and the survivors and stuff.
Oh, man, and he wasn't there.
Have to do that, man.
He wasn't there on Warner Brothers' dime. He wasn't there as part of the production. It wasn't in publicity. He was not. There's not a single thing that's come out of Christian Bale's camp or any of the Batman or the Warner Brothers camp or anything with those shots of him there. The only things that you've seen online about that trip is from people that were there that then shared it out over the internet. I love that. I think he's such a classy dude for going to see those people. What an amazing thing. Yeah, going to the hospital and visiting those that were injured. Here's what I do want to talk about that has to do with Batman. We're not going to go into the movie itself. I'm going to go into a little bit, though, about my fucking experience of seeing it. And I wasn't going to bitch about this because obviously real terrible things.
Did you send me a text about this?
Yeah, I sent you a few. I went to see it midnight on Thursday night. You and I talked about it last week. I took off the afternoon of Friday to go see it, and yet I had to go pick up my kids. There wasn't a showtime that I could fit in between getting off the air and picking up my kids on Friday. So I bit the bullet. I went midnight Thursday night to see it, and then I used Friday afternoon to take a nap. That's what a grown man does.
Shit's weak.
Whatever. So I'm in line at like 10 o'clock Friday night, which puts me at about 20th in line behind a bunch of teenage nerds.
Ring, ring.
You pot calling the kettle?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't understand what a real nerd is like until you stand behind one for about 30 or 45 minutes. Other guy, they care so much about everything. They had a fanatic opinion about every single topic that any of them could bring up.
They were fans, man. You just said it.
And were fighting each other to enunciate it real loudly so everybody around them could hear. And most of them were completely uneducated about every single topic they talked about, too.
Do you want to see a real nerd one guy?
Yes.
Man, I hate like whenever you stand in line for a movie and it's like, I don't know, Batman. And there's some real young, immature kids being loud like immature kids are. But there's always like that curmudgeonly, like old nerd who's making fun of like the young nerds. That's a real nerd, bro.
I kept it to myself.
They all do, because nerds are weak-willed people and don't bitch. They're afraid of confrontation.
I know. Now, these jackasses were not afraid of confrontation.
I know. The curmudgeon behind them was.
It's not that I was afraid of confrontation. If confronted, I think they all would have shut the hell up. I didn't want to rain on anybody's parade, but this is the reason why I don't go to midnight premieres anymore. It's not about staying up late.
You should be more selfish because they didn't mind raining on your parade.
Huh.
Shit's weak.
Whatever. Maybe so. Anyway, in light of the actual terrible things
Give me an
that
example.
happened,
What were they saying? I wanna weigh in on this.
Everything. These kids are local, so they were talking about college football, which they didn't even. None of them knew the records.
What does college football have to do with the movie?
Nothing.
That's not a nerd thing to talk about.
I'm giving you an example of how they had a virulent opinion on everything that they. So they would.
You're getting real worked up just talking about it.
I'm thinking about it. My blood pressure's going up. These jackass. Literally everything that it was like. If you said cars, they'd be like, the Camaro is the best car. It's really fast. It's got like V6 engine in it and a 6-speed.
So it's kind of like Lumpy Space Princess mixed with Muscle Man.
Yes, apparently every 18 to 22-year-old is now currently some sort of character from Adventure Time. That's literally how they walk around in life. If you said cars, then they would say that. You said Transformers, they'd say, I liked it before Michael Bay. If you said Batman, they'd be like, well, I really liked the animated series, but he's probably going to like kill Batman in this one because it's Nolan's last one. If you said Fantastic Four, they'd be like, fuck Fox, give it back to Marvel real fast.
What if I said vagina?
They'd be like, girls are weird, man. Fuck yeah, I like fuck bitches. Yeah. Everything. You got a loud and offensive opinion about every single topic you could bring up. They get somebody mentions college football. And one of these jackasses says our college is got a shot at the national championship this year. Really?
He probably meant whack, man.
No, he meant national because his two buddies went, what the fuck are you talking about? We haven't been ranked in a decade.
So really, there was one nerdy guy.
No,
and two that were all right.
No, because no. There was like one guy in the group that had any kind of comprehension about football. There was generally one guy in the group that had any comprehension about any one topic. They all had opinions, though. That's what I'm saying.
Ringleader?
No, it was a different guy for each topic. If you put them together, they might make one whole person of knowledge. That's what I'm trying to get you. There was like 6 dudes, and if you put them all together, they could have balanced a fucking checkbook and bought groceries. That's what I'm trying to get to you. So fuck the nerds. That's what I'm saying.
So the wheel's turning, but the hamster's dead.
Yes. No. It was yes. There is no hamster. I don't think there's ever been a hamster in that wheel. That wheel's still got the fucking plastic wrap on it. Ugh. Anyway,
Princess Leia's in my wheel.
I was very upset
Was that nerdy enough for you? I was trying to relate.
Yeah, no, that was plenty nerdy. I was very upset. And then I go and see the movie.
I love it. The shit that just pisses you off.
This killed me. I go and see the movie, and the movie's fine. The movie's quite good. I'd come out in a much better mood.
Better. Like it would have been better if those dudes hadn't been.
No,
there.
it had mostly washed it away. But I had made plans. I was like, I'm going to write about this. I'm gonna write about it, or I'll talk about it on the podcast next week or something. We'll bitch about the nerds. And then the terrible, terrible thing happened. And I'm like, oh, obviously there are bigger things than nerds ruining your screening. Let it go. Anyway, the reason why I bring it back up, after I see the movie the second time on Sunday, I start reading reviews online. And I listen or read to these motherfuckers bitch about the audio mix on Bane. It's not that they don't like his accent or the choices that Tom Hardy is making. They're bitching because they say the audio is too clean for him and it's too crisp and clear no matter what environment he's speaking in, and that doesn't sound real and it really draws you out of the story. These are the same motherfuckers that 6 months ago, when they first played the beginning scene of the movie, like as a preview or whatever of The Dark Knight, when that was released in theaters with the Mission Impossible movie or whatever, you could go see the opening scene. They bitched because you couldn't understand what Bane was saying because it was too muffled. They bitched and made Nolan change the way that he edited the audio for the film. And then they bitched at the way that he edited it.
Why couldn't it have just been two camps? One that kept silent while the other one was talking. Like you have two camps. One wants a clean voice, one doesn't. It doesn't have to be the same people, bro.
No, I'm telling you, it's some of the same people that bitched about it then and said, oh, it's going to make it where you can't even understand this and you're going to lose half the film because he's the main villain and blah, 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 whatever. Fuck them. You can't make anybody happy. That's what I've realized. So, on that note, last week you and I talked about...
bitter. You're so bitter today.
No. This is a very freeing moment. What I'm trying to tell you here is I got to a catharsis. I'm not ever going to worry
catharsis.
about... I don't think you used that correctly.
I know I did.
I'm not ever going to worry about reviews on anything I do anymore. If you put something on the internet, people will bitch about it. That's just true. So you do something that you like. And you know what? A lot of other people probably like it too, because you're not that weird. So that's going to be my motto from now on. I don't give... You go to iTunes and you review this show in any way that you want to, dear listener. Good, bad, mediocre, anywhere in between. You go right ahead. I'll love you for it. You go right ahead. I enjoy the show. I like what we put out. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about it.
What a long fucking way to go to ask for reviews.
I'm not asking for reviews.
I was completely... I had no idea where this story was going.
I wasn't asking for reviews.
Were ya?
No.
Were ya?
Well, now I am. Review us. We got some good ones, by the way. We got 3 5-star reviews.
And none of them were you?
No.
Your girlfriend?
One of them was.
I just needed to put it in a compartment in my head, man.
Yeah, apparently so. You mentioned that sometimes things we touch might go wrong. And apparently... We mentioned Sherman Helmsley last week on the podcast as we talked about the great theme songs from Amen and even more than that, the Jeffersons. Sherman Helmsley passed away in the middle of this week, man. 74 years old, I believe. I'm pulling up the article right now. Yeah, he dies at the age of 74. What a great comedic actor and what a great character in George Jefferson.
Yeah, I wonder which theme song he would pick to have played at his funeral.
Oh, man, you got to go with the Amen theme song, right?
You think?
Yeah. Although, there's a lot of heavenly metaphors in the Jefferson theme song, too. He's moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of did.
He kind of did.
I don't know. He could be a horrible, horrible person.
I'll tell you this. That motherfucker can dance. I have found online.
That's what you want to. That's the one thing you say about the man.
I'm saying
Dude could dance.
Heaven got a little groovier. Is all I'm saying. The other day, there's a link, and we'll have this on the Tumblr page. 2guysonepod.tumblr.com. Sherman Helmsley's 5 best dance videos online, and it's literally 5 clips of him dancing in different things. Of course, he danced a lot as George Jefferson, and he danced in the theme song of Amen too. Yeah. Anyway, he also had an album. He put out an album in like '92.
Who do you think he is? Eddie Murphy?
Closer to James Brown, I'd say. But
did you listen to any of it?
I listened to a little. It's not bad. If you're into Sherman Helmsley yelling at you, it's which I kind of am.
JJ was.
Anyway, thanks to Cronkite, by the way, for sending us the info about Sherman Helmsley. I think I had already seen it online by the time he mentioned it, but he did write in and said that he was blaming us for Sherman's death.
Hey, I blamed me a little too.
Yeah.
But then I was like, yes, content.
I'm not glad that Sherman Helmsley died.
And then I said, shut up, Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's your shoulder demon speaking there.
And I knew it.
I've never admitted to a mistake.
I've made a huge mistake.
We did have a few mistakes from last week. In the long history of us and me in particular screwing up movie titles, we talked about a vampire movie, when we were talking about bad comedies. The name of the movie is Once Bitten. That's what we were referencing.
What did we say?
First Bite or something like that? I don't know. It's the Jim Carrey movie, though. It's Jim Carrey's first film. He plays a young, like a teenager, right? He's in high school, and the older, hot, blonde vampire.
Before there was a cougar.
Yeah. It was a MILF before the word existed.
Yeah, he was like, hello.
Yeah, turns him into a vampire. That's the one where, like, the first thing he does is he eats the steaks raw, right?
Yeah,
like that's
hamburger meat or something.
Yeah. Funny movie, man. Like, you kind of shit on it last week. I loved that as a kid, and I've seen it once or twice as an adult.
But it's not a good movie.
No,
like, you have fond memories of it, and that's all I was pointing out.
Okay, fair enough. You just go. You like horror that way. I like a few comedies that way.
Right.
I didn't grow up watching horror so much. You grew up watching horror.
I don't ever say, oh, that was a good horror movie. I said it's a movie that I liked.
Nice.
I know I can like some shitty stuff.
Eaglet Joe chimes in. A little listener mail here.
JaVale is here. Ooh.
In response to my reference to Val Kilmer's line from The Ghost in the Darkness, talking about how if the Irish weren't drunk, they'd take over the world. No. She just had another great quote. She says, an Irishman is never too drunk as long as he can hold on to a blade of grass and not fall off the face of the earth. There you go. I like that. She also referenced, and I'm going to have this link on our Tumblr page as well. She was listening to NPR a few years ago. Dick Van Dyke was on and mentioned that he wrote the song for his show. The Dick Van Dyke Show, he wrote the theme song for. It has lyrics, and she's got a YouTube video of him and a bunch of yahoos singing the lyric version of the Dick Van Dyke Show. So that's going to be on our Tumblr page too. It's good. It's not anywhere near as good as the Andy Griffith song.
Yeah, I mean, you know why I didn't mention the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Why not?
Because I don't give a fuck.
Nice. Some more listener mail. So this is from He of Many Names. I have a lot of love for the other guy, and I hope he feels the same. He has always been a very genuine person. Other guy isn't afraid to call something out as bullshit. It's probably the biggest reason for his success and why he is so fun to listen to. Point in case.
Okay, that's a really nice way to say he's a jackass.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So polite.
Subtle translation, he's a cock. Point in case. His calling out of the Edith Head quote is completely appropriate. Again, the quote that he's referencing here, you can have anything you want in life if you dress for it. That's from the costumer Edith Head. He of Many Names continues, it's bullshit. The same goes for a lot of idioms. For instance, a watched pot never boils. Bullshit. It's just one of those things that people say as we nod our heads and drink our Kool-Aid. It takes someone like the other guy to knock that shit out of our hands. You're a Kool-Aid knocking... You are a Kool-Aid blocker.
But if it was for real, like I wouldn't knock your Kool-Aid out of your hand.
You'd let him continue in his cult?
Yeah, I would want to see what would happen.
You sick fuck. He says, I laugh embarrassingly loudly at his remarks on the show.
I wonder if it's like a maniacal laugh, or if it's like a... Oh, bless his heart.
I can't remember how he laughs, truthfully. I don't remember He of Many Names laugh. Thank you, other guy. I count you as a friend, and I hope you do the same. I hope you... There's a dangling modifier in there somewhere. I think he meant, I hope you count him as a friend.
I like anything that dangles.
Sincerely, He of Many Names. Thanks, He of Many Names, for writing that in. And I guess what he's saying is you were kind of right there on the Edith Head nonsense, that it doesn't... Her quote was bullshit. She is worth noting, though. We still got to see that fucking movie, man. You've been out of town, and I've been busy. The Man Who Would Be King.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to try to get our mutual friend to watch it with us, and then all three of us talk about it. That's what I'd like. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I will almost be the only one of us that says negative things about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much guaranteed to like it.
Yeah. Just
because of who's in it. Michael Caine and Sean Connery are both like two of my favorites. And he likes sweeping desert epics. So that's its own genre.
Nice.
I don't know what the fuck else we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about?
You're the one who notes the show, man.
Yeah, we did all my notes.
Oh, and we need to do a get to know these guys. We can do one of those.
All right.
And we haven't done If You Could. Dude, how are you?
I just don't have anything else to say.
Oh.
Much.
I mean, after that 10-minute rant, that's going to take up 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah, I know. We got an If You Could from last week. That's like
what did we
ready
do?
to go. We did Celeb Confidant that didn't go on the show.
We referenced the Celeb Confidant.
Yeah, we referenced it, but we didn't play it.
Oh.
We referenced Celeb Confidant last week because it was supposed to, we recorded it 2 weeks ago.
But it didn't make it into
and
this
it didn't
week.
go in 2 weeks ago. And then I said, we talked about it last week. And I was like, oh, no, we didn't. Well, we'll talk about it this week. Ha. And then we didn't either.
They're so disappointed.
No, well, there's a lot of show. Anyway, Celeb.
Who does the other guy want to talk to?
Yeah, the If You Could Celeb Confidant will be in this week's podcast. We can record a Celeb. We can record an If You Could. I've got another If You Could that's pretty good. But I wasn't planning on doing it this week.
We can talk about it and save it while we have the time in case a week because we're starting to get busy.
Let's do a get to know these guys. Who are these guys?
Who are these guys?
What do you want to do?
I'm trying to remember.
We did Fear, and we did Our Last Fight. Those are the only two we've done so far.
What else was on the board? Ooh, First
Love. First time I got drunk. You want to tell that story?
I really don't remember mine.
You don't remember the first time you got drunk?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the first time.
All right, what's your first good alcohol story? There you go.
Ooh, I've got a great one that I will not tell.
On the air, anyway.
On the air.
Yeah. That'll be in the premium podcast.
I may have some friends who
would be affected.
Well, who listen to the show and would know that I broke our pact.
Oh, okay. I got you. Fair enough. There you go.
And I'm not that kind of dude.
Well, look at that. I like that then. All right. So if we can't
if I could guarantee they would know it, I wouldn't have a problem sharing it.
Yeah. But this is a public forum.
Yeah, it's the found out part.
It's on the intranet.
Yeah.
On the inner tubes.
I'm not saying I've never told people.
Right.
I'm just not going to tell you fucks.
Oh my God. All right. So if we let's don't do First Drunk then.
Can't do First Love either. My wife listens to this.
Well, what's wrong with
I'm going to be compelled to lie.
You're going to be compelled to lie and say that it was her? She's aware that you loved other people. Like, you were a grown man when you met her.
But I don't. Right.
You don't want to talk about it in any depth.
Right.
All right. Fair enough. I don't know. What the fuck else was on that list?
We could... What was on the list?
We
are useless without our board.
I know. I didn't do enough prep this week. I've been busy writing.
We could talk about a time we've been drunk.
I'll tell you.
I have 3 or 4 that are real close that happened all in the same summer that I started partaking. I couldn't tell you which was first.
Yeah, which happened first?
They were all a blur.
All right.
You know, it's like you're going through puberty and you learn to masturbate. You just want to sit in your room and do it all the time.
Yes.
Well, that's like the beginning of puberty too. Like you just want to drink all the time and it just blurs.
All right. I'll tell you mine first. This had the Camaro, so it was an old shitty Camaro, like a 83.
So this was 84.
No, this was like 97. Yeah, it's like 97. I was probably 17 when this happened. 16, 17 years old. Like a junior in high school.
Drunk. Driving a Camaro.
I was not drunk yet.
Okay.
Where I'm from, you go out in the middle of nowhere.
Drinking and driving people.
Well, that's true too, obviously. Yes, and we're both much smarter and wiser men and would never do anything like this now.
Again.
Yeah. Where I'm from, what you do is you go out in the middle of nowhere and you light some wooden pallets on fire.
So you walk out your front door?
No, I lived in town. It was a little bitty town.
If you say so.
But you go way out in the middle of nowhere, you light some wooden pallets on fire, and you drink beer around it.
Where do you get wooden pallets? Are they just laying everywhere in the country?
No, but you go to, you go to
wooden pallet place. Like
you go to the
why
store.
Don't you just buy firewood?
Because it's easy to steal wooden pallets.
Oh, so you didn't purchase them. You liberated them.
Yes.
All right.
Scavenging.
Good job, Gaddafi.
Salvaging. That's all. That's all. Yeah, you'd throw a bunch of wooden pallets out. You'd light a big bonfire up. You'd sit around and drink beer and listen to...
Who bought you the beer?
Country music or rap music. One of the seniors, because some of them were 21 or 22 years old.
Oh, seniors?
No, well, I mean, some. And then everybody had a friend, that convenience store where you could go to and they didn't care.
Like if you were 21 in high school, you'd be the coolest guy there.
You say that. I don't know. You'd have to be pretty stupid.
Like, you'd still be popular.
Maybe.
I mean, you'd be getting handies for a bottle of Jim Beam.
Yeah, but at that point, it's illegal.
You're 21 in high school. What the fuck do you care? It's like jail is a step up from that. Oh, good career move. You got caught.
On this particular night, the party in the middle of nowhere was in the middle of a rice field.
So it was in the middle of a rice field, not necessarily nowhere.
Well, it was way on the boonies. Let's put it like that. Rice field.
I feel like I've seen a Scooby-Doo that started like this.
If you don't know anything about rice fields, the way that this works is you've got a large square field that's full of water, and then you got gigantic ditches around it, right?
Yeah. And you plant the rice in the flooded field.
And then you've got raised, in this case, gravel roads into and out of the fields, in between the fields
Dykes.
Or whatever. Right. And so we drive down into the middle of this. There's a large open area, kind of just an open field in the middle of these rice paddies. You got, 25 cars parked there or whatever, fire in the middle going, a keg. Everybody's drinking beer. At this point, I don't even like beer. I think I had maybe 2 as the evening had begun to progress.
When you were that young, did you try to sneak like Smirnoffs or like Boone's Farm or something that was more flavorful? And then when somebody looked, you'd put it down and grab the beer again?
No, I was for a minute. I'm tried to make the effort for beer. I couldn't get with it. Finally, in college, I learned how to drink beer. What I would do is I'd just drink whiskey. You take whiskey and mix it with Coke, and it tastes great. So
it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It tastes good to me.
It doesn't. Whiskey that tastes good is obviously shitty Coke. Coke is good.
Yes.
You put something shitty in it, it's not going to make it better Coke.
I don't know. I think it tastes just fine.
It just makes better whiskey, which is still pretty shitty.
I don't know. I think it tastes just fine. Anyway, so that's what I would drink most of the time. This time, though, I'm sticking with the crowd because I didn't have any.
It's what you could pull down without making a face.
Well, not only that, I liked it. It's what I actively drank. Anyway, you're getting me off track. Point is, I'm about 2 beers in, struggling through 2 beers here, trying to hang out and fit into this fucking crowd, when the police sirens and lights show up. The cops come to break up our little high school kegger. I panic. I'm about to shit my pants. I'm sitting there in my car, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? Here I am. I'm going to get picked up. My parents are going to destroy me because they didn't know where I was. The cop that sees me happens to know me. He says, "What the hell are you doing out here?" And I said, "Man, I just, they said there was a party. I didn't know what was going to go on." He's like, "Have you been drinking?" I was like, "No, sir. I hadn't had anything." He said, "Well, then get in your car and drive your ass home. And don't let me catch you at one of these things again." I was like, "Excellent. Thank you, sir." Jump in my car and I take off. I'm driving a little too fast on the gravel road. I'm nervous as hell because there are cops and I've just gotten away, I think, from this party. I took the turn too fast, didn't make the curve on the first gravel road turn. I didn't roll the car. I ran it straight into the fucking ditch, into the flooded ditch of the rice paddy. I'm half my hood deep in water and mud.
You're dumb.
Yeah. And wasn't even drunk. Long story short, they pulled out my car. They fucked up something in the back of it, though. I had to get that fixed. I had to drive home in a completely muddy car. Got grounded for like a month. And I didn't even get to get drunk that night. That's why I didn't party much in high school. I was very bad at it.
I don't remember a whole lot of drunk nights ending poorly like that. Like, the next days were horrible.
You're a lucky dude. We established this.
Even my bad drunk night still, I mean, it's pretty good.
So what's your story?
During the summer, one of the first times when I discovered drinking, a couple of us went to a local lake and went skinny dipping. And we still had, like, an ice chest in the car. We were completely underage. I think one of the people with us, their sibling, was older and bought it for us. So we were drinking, skinny dipping, and I guess somebody was coming out night fishing or whatever. So that car pulled in, and so we had to, like, we fucking took off running, right? Like, we're out of the water. We don't bother to put our clothes on. Like, we're just trying to get in the car and get away. Right. Which we do successfully.
Nice. You didn't run into a ditch in the rice paddies.
No. We got away. But we're all... It's odd because the idea of skinny dipping is it's always at night. Now, I mean, very few people... Not always, but...
Yeah,
when you're a teenager and you're in high school, it's always at night.
Yes.
Because the whole idea is it's naughty, but you can't really...
The idea of getting caught is there and is one of the reasons why it's fun, but you don't really want to get caught. As a matter of fact, you don't even really want everybody to see you naked either.
Right, which is why you do it at night, because things like... You can see things move and jiggle, and you know they're there.
Right. I can stay in the water, and nobody really sees anything.
So the idea of us running into the car, as soon as we open the door, we shut the door, and, like, the fucking light stays on.
You're all very nude.
Yeah, we're all completely naked. I'm sitting next to a dude.
But suddenly very aware of the nudity, too.
Very, very aware. I'm sitting next to a cold, naked, wet body.
There's your shriveled penis right there. That's what that is.
Because nighttime air, bro. It's cold, man. So the light, it's like it stays on for 30 seconds. It's just what this model car did.
I think that's what everything does now, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no hiding our shame.
There is no proverbial fig leaf.
The deal is the light goes out, and we are all completely stunned. We don't bother trying to put our clothes on because we're going to be bumping into each other, and awkwardness could ensue.
Yeah.
So, man, I wish I could remember who was driving because that person was lucky. Because it was a driver, a person in the front seat, and then 3 naked bodies in the back seat.
Riding bitch takes on a whole movie.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Anyway, so we're driving away. That's the reason we're still naked. I need to say that because people are going to be like, oh, who gets in the... Who drives naked? Why they just put their clothes on? That's why.
We're running away.
Right, so we're still 5 naked teenagers in a car driving through town. And we get pulled over.
You're kidding me.
I'm not fucking kidding you.
Oh, my God.
We get pulled over, and the closest place for us to turn off the road is a church. Let that sink in.
Okay, so you've got 5 naked teenagers.
Yes.
Pulled over by a police officer, middle of the night.
Yes.
In a church parking lot.
Yes.
In town. Church is in town?
Yeah, it's like coming in. It's not exactly like in the middle of, like
it's like
downtown.
on the outskirts.
Yeah, so it's coming into town. Yeah, so if I would have said that, people are like, I don't believe it. It's bullshit.
Weird.
Most people don't like if you were to say driving naked, pulled over, had to pull over in a church, we're going to go, bullshit.
I think we spent the last 11 weeks though making plenty clear that our audience understands you're a man that's lived.
Yeah. So the cop pulls us over, and there's sir, can you step away from the car? And this is where the driver was not so lucky because he gets out butt naked. Yeah. Oh, he's trying to cover himself, but I mean, yeah. Like he may have like his shirt in front of his crotch or whatever, but he's ultimately like we didn't put on our clothes. We're fucking trying to get away from the people who were trying to see a skinny dip or whatever.
Right.
So he steps out of the car, and the cop says his name. The cop
we fucking recognized him?
It turns out, I don't know why in a million years we didn't think that this would happen. The cop was the brother of one of the girls that was with us.
Oh. So he didn't get in trouble. He got bitched out there, and then y'all got, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, no. See, if it would have been like a normal cop and we would have gotten in trouble, this story could have stayed between us.
Oh.
But since it was a sibling, there's no chance in hell of that story, like, not getting out into a bigger circle of people we know.
Yes, but legally, nobody was on the hook for anything.
No, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. What you could have gotten, I mean, like, I don't know, depending upon how old the driver was, he could have gotten charged with, like, delinquency of contributing to the delinquency of a minor for some of the people in the car or something, you know. There's that weird time, man, when you're right at the end of high school, when you're like 17, 18 years old, where all of a sudden, depending upon what you do and with whom, and I don't mean just sexually, I mean all sorts of borderline legal activities, like if it goes badly, the police are going to come to you because you're the oldest one, and not just fuck you up because of your illegal actions or questionably legal actions, but you will be on the hook for all of the other all of your other friends that were with you at the time because you're the old one in the group.
Do you want to know the best part of this story?
Yeah, yes, please.
He bought us the alcohol.
The cop?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did he know you were taking it skinny dipping with his sister?
No, I mean he knew we were gonna drink. I mean, obviously, because he bought it for us.
Yeah.
Small towns, man. There's no way that was the first time I was drunk.
No.
But it was the first summer I was drinking.
I was our mutual friend. We're gonna have to postpone tonight. We're not gonna be able to hang out and do comics.
Aww.
So I made a video for the kid this week.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm going to post a link to it on our Tumblr page, twoguysonepod.tumblr.com. And, of course, you can email us to twoguysonepod@me.com. Email us a Dear Other Guy letter. You need some advice from the other guy? Let us know what you need, and he's here to answer.
Mostly. I'm not going to say I'm not going to try to, like, the advice I give, I'm going to try to get the interesting story out of it. So
Yes.
it may not be the best thing for you to do.
It'd be the best thing for this podcast.
But I would hope to get like a follow-up email. You son of a bitch.
I did what you said, and I ended up in prison for life.
You said if I pulled out, she wouldn't get pregnant.
All right. So, and if you could.
Okay.
If you could have one celebrity confidant.
Okay.
A secret celebrity confidant. By that I mean they contact you and tell you their deepest and darkest as well as the mundane. And you can do the same with this person. You can rely on them for advice and for a shoulder to cry on kind of deal. When you're having a shitty day, this is the person you can buzz up and get a little pep talk from. You'll know all the dope and the secrets that they've got, too. All of the, if they're a star, whatever's going on in Hollywood, the gossip and everything. You'll know about the new projects they're working on ahead of time.
And these have to be real.
Real people.
Okay.
Don't have to be living, though. It could be, you could have a secret celebrity confidant through time, I suppose. Maybe you've got the phone from Frequency. Or was it a radio?
It was a radio.
Yeah, there you go. You got the radio from Frequency. You got the shortwave radio from Frequency, and you can reach back into time if you want to.
So, for example...
But nobody knows about it. No, not even your wife, not even Mrs. Other Guy would know that this is a person that you know personally and have an intimate relationship with.
Now we're getting dangerous.
Oh, in that it would be a secret that could end your marriage. Like, who is this person you're sneaking around with? No. It would be...
Or if it was secret, no one would know. Yeah, I'd be sneaking around, you know.
Oh, I gotcha. No, okay, so it's only by... Well, all right. Your wife could know that you have a friend who is very high profile and that it has to be super top secret. No, you're never going to pull a favor from this person out in public. We're never going to go see them, etc. They call me sometimes.
Could I get a favor from them even if it wasn't public?
You couldn't get like money from them. Theoretically, there are some things that they could do, strings they could pull behind the scenes, so to speak, that they could do something for you. Yeah, maybe once in a while.
It'd be real hard not to pick the president then.
We talked about celebrity roommates one time, and at first I was thinking along those veins, i.e., who would I want to chit-chat with? Who would I want to be buddies with? I mean, I'd love to be buddies with Kevin Smith. He and I have a ton in common. I think he's a really funny guy. I know I'd have a good time hanging out with him.
You're going to go to Sam Jackson. I mean, y'all are pals.
Yeah, Sam. Sam and I are very close. It's a true story. Kevin Smith is the one that I first had on my mind, and then I thought, no. It's not just about being buddies. In particular, since you're not going to hang out with this person. You and I are buddies. This is about the potential for some really interesting stories and insight into a world that you could never actually see.
Yeah, so how do you not pick the president then?
The one that I went, once I realized the potential, I went Warren Buffett. That's the person I started thinking about right away, because if you could talk to Warren Buffett in an unguarded and unpublic way, don't you think he would just continuously give you little bits of gold? Literally? I mean,
well, I have a definite 3 before I even think about Warren Buffett.
All right. Give me your number. We'll go top 3 in reverse order. So my number 3 is Kevin Smith. Your number 3 is
Queen Elizabeth.
The current Queen Elizabeth?
Yes.
I will say this, as a monarch who's been at the top of the world stage for 50 years.
She's lived through some shit, man. Imagine those stories.
Yeah, she's got to have great stories. You're right. She's got to have great stories. I do wonder, she got to be super disconnected from anything bordering on realistic, right?
Which you'd have to think is an interesting thing.
It'd be like talking to Prince and him wondering why you can't get a...
Yeah, maybe she'd give me a name.
Yeah.
Like I would become Carmen Electra.
Why Carmen Electra?
Because Prince gave Carmen Electra her name.
Short Prince, like Purple Rain Prince?
Yeah.
Ow! He named Carmen Electra?
Yeah.
What was her name before? Like Allison Jones?
And then, whenever they first met, and he was like, no. You're Carmen Electra.
Oh, I was thinking more about the fact that Prince lives in Prince World and can't get over the fact that you can't get a llama at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday in Minnesota.
If you're Prince, you can.
That's what I'm saying. And I bet the Queen's like that too. So anytime you bring a normal problem to Queen Elizabeth, you're like, Queen Elizabeth, the power bill's due. And she's like, what is a power bill?
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be great?
I don't know if that would be useful. I mean, not that Warren Buffett worries about the power bill, but Warren Buffett is aware that bills are a thing that get paid,
I think Kevin Smith would agree with my 3rd over your 3rd, and he's your 3rd. He'd go, dude, he's fucking right. How do you not take a queen?
I don't know. He's got a pretty high...
fat guy.
Fatty no fly?
Yeah, I'm fatty no fly, and you're not going to take a goddamn queen? You're fucking stupid. We can't even be friends anymore. I take myself off your list, dumbass.
All right, so we've got Queen Elizabeth at number 3 for you. Who's number 2?
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Surprising, too. I mean, I'm a big Rat Pack fan. Are you a fan of the music?
Yeah, I just think he's interesting. Like, who wouldn't want to, like, if you, this is going to get into a whole nother if you could, but what other person would you want to have lived their life? Like,
yeah, he had a pretty good one.
Yeah.
First of all, he lived very long, so he's not like many other musicians.
And beloved.
Pretty much the entire time.
Yes, because he had the mob backing him, so you better love him.
Well, not just the mob. He was also a fairly talented guy.
Yeah, but right, what I'm saying, like, what's...
Presidents as friends.
Man, especially in Vegas back in the day, imagine the stories this guy has.
In particular, the time period where he and Dino and the rest of the Rat Pack are doing shows on the Strip at night, and 2 shows a night, and then filming during the day, making movies like Ocean's 11, and they made a string of films right there. Ocean's 11 is the biggest one.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like what kind of gravitas do you have to have as a person to where no one questions you giving Sammy Davis a shot?
Yeah. Everybody calls him the chairman, for Christ's sake. I mean, like the president called him the chairman.
If somebody else in that time period says, "Yeah, I'm about to have a black guy on the show with me," they wouldn't sell one ticket.
Yeah, well, I mean, and he got a lot. Even he and Dino got a lot of grief. Of course, Sammy got the most out of that. But yeah, they with their statue got grief for the amount of time that they spent and the prominence that they gave Sammy and the respect that they gave him.
Yeah, and they made it happen, man. Like that's cool.
He'd have hella good stories to tell.
The best. There's not going to be another person that has better stories than him.
Maybe Marilyn Monroe.
No, she wouldn't remember her story.
It'd be too clouded to... Yeah, that's a good point. Huh. That's a great number 2. That's a great number 2. But that's your number 2. That's not even your Frank Sinatra's not your number 1 anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna put Kevin Smith at 3, Warren Buffett at 2. Who do you got at number 1?
Gandhi.
Gandhi, of course, who is the one who said, what was the thing that you said the
Be
Dalai
the change
Lama
you want
said?
to see in the world.
There you go. Be the change you want to see in the world. That was Gandhi.
Yeah, it would be the Dalai Lama. I just think Gandhi's a cooler cat.
Yeah. I don't know. Dalai Lama's pretty awesome, man. That would probably be my number 1.
Yeah, but if you have a person like Frank Sinatra, your number 2, all the sin in the world, you got to have a Gandhi to balance that out.
Got to have a Gandhi to balance it out. It would be awesome having the Dalai Lama on.
I got a pretty good life. I want a real good afterlife. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not only that, but Gandhi can help you.
Oh my goodness!
What? Who'd we miss?
Jesus. He could be your for real homeboy.
But it would be secret. I wouldn't want Jesus. I wouldn't want to keep Jesus a secret. If I had Jesus on speed dial, I could keep the Dalai Lama on speed dial a secret. I could.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to be like, hey JC, that Judas motherfucker you're hanging out with?
No, man. JC saw that coming. He was down with it. Everything's got an end. That dude's got to have an antagonist.
Yeah, what a cool, like, what a...
You
feel bad. I'd feel like, what would... like?
You feel bad because we didn't put Jesus
relate?
on our list?
Yeah, Jesus is off my list. How would you relate?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that... Jesus is my confidant, but I don't need him on speed dial for that. So, you say Gandhi... Yeah, I think I might put the Dalai Lama at my number 1. How badass in a moment when you're heated, when the world is coming down on you and you're all confuzzled, you could just whip out the phone, call up the Dalai, be like, hey man, Lama, bring me off a little knowledge.
You can do the same thing with Gandhi.
A little peace here.
And I like Indian food. I've never had Tibetan food, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I know I like Indian food.
Well, since
so we'd have something in common to talk about.
You could talk about the Indian food?
Yeah.
And how much you like march into the sea for salt?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. Let us know who you want your secret celebrity buddy to be.
I wonder if anybody would ever pick Hitler.
No. Why would anybody ever want to be friends with Hitler?
Wouldn't you want to know why? Like, why?
You could just poll him. So, hey, what's up with all the Jew hating?
Yeah, but then you could literally write.
I think he wrote a book explaining why, didn't he?
What? But really, I mean, was that just propaganda?
Well, yes, I'm sure, but I'm saying, I think he laid out his reasoning. I think we just disagree with it.
Yeah, but he was on all kind of drugs, man.
Was he really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, all kind. Like he was getting an injection every time he got up in the morning. Like he was
pain injections, like Michael Jackson or something.
No, like they don't. Some people don't even really know what it was. Like they have written in, like his German doctor kept notes and stuff, but he just made up names for shit. They don't know what it is.
Like a drug cocktail.
Yes.
He was just getting shot up all the time. That's messed up.
He was giving his arm man speed.
Well, that makes sense though. Baseball players have been taking low grade speed for decades. You know, I mean, I think that's common in any. I think soldiers now take, trucker speed and stuff.
And then also think about, like, to your Warren Buffett argument, he's literally giving you gold. If you could talk to Hitler and find out where he hid all the shit he stole from people,
like the Spear of Destiny.
Yeah, you could either A, be a hero and return it to these people, like, oh my God, this guy is so awesome, he returned our historical treasure. Or you can just melt it down and sell it.
And make your money, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. No, I wouldn't want Hitler on my list. Fuck a bunch of that. I do want to know who you guys, though, would be celebrity buddies with. Let us know. 2guys1pod@me.com. Yeah, I'm taking the Dalai Lama. Gunga galunga. Unga gunga. Stephen Hawking. Why isn't Stephen Hawking on either one of our lists?
Because conversations with that motherfucker take too goddamn long.
You want to talk about a guy who has to really give some thought to what he wants to say.
Yeah, like, trust me, he's my shoulder angel. Why do you think I do so much bad shit?
He's taking too long to respond.
It takes 15 minutes for me to get what's on his mind.
He's typing up the anti-argument. He's like, no.
Not with his fingers.
Don't. Oh, that's right. With his eyeballs.
With his eyeballs.
That's right. All right. Fair enough.
Dave Chappelle would be a good one, too.
Dave Chappelle would be a good celebrity confidant.
Real good celebrity confidant.
Because that dude's got demons, but he's also got so much beautiful stuff in his skull.
Why can't he get back on stage sooner rather than later? I mean, I understand it's hard being famous and everybody in the world wants a piece of you or whatever, but it's a good job to talk for a living.
Yeah, but if he was like, hey, man, my first stage show is going to be at this theater.
Oh, you could know where the secret shows are or whatever ahead of time?
Yeah, not just know the secret shows. You could rent it out and then charge him 20% on top of that for him to rent it out.
Yeah, hyping up his ticket prices, making him money.
Yeah.
He's like, other guy, why you cutting me out over here, man? You gotta make my
piece. Dimes, baby. Times is dimes.
Times is dimes.
I'm making paper.
Truth be told, I don't think I'm going to be any good for anything else in this podcast tonight. I think we should close.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't have anything else. It's 54 minutes worth of stuff. There's actually
I feel like we talked way longer than that.
It's because it wasn't driven tonight. Normally we've got a place and we really drive to it. We kind of meandered around tonight.
Yeah, but see, I still think we had some of our most interesting conversations tonight.
Really?
Yeah. Like I think when you get into edit this, it may be hard to find the segue.
Yeah.
But I think each individual bit was pretty interesting.
It's not all terrible.
I felt like we had 3 things and we spent 15 minutes on each thing, and out of those 15 minutes,
yeah,
we can get like 10.
Yeah, we'll have a show.
Yeah,
we'll have a show. I'm one guy.
And I'm the other.
And this has been the podcast.